Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the daisy flower accessory that's for my sleepy lamb or sleepy sheep pattern. So you're going to need a brown color for the center, a yellow color for the petals, and then green for the leaves if you want to add the leaves. I love this cotton yarn and a 3.5 millimeter hook. So you'll start with the brown color. We'll start with the center of the flower. You only need a little bit of this. You'll start with a slip knot. I'm sorry, not a slip knot, a magic circle. It's basically the same thing until you start to work into it. Magic circle, and you're going to do 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Pull that magic circle tail tight. Don't over tighten it yet because that makes it harder to work in that first stitch for round 2. So now you'll just go straight into the first single crochet you made, and you're going to increase in every single stitch to have a total of 12. Make sure, count back from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now you can go ahead and pull that magic circle tail real tight to close it all the way. Now we're done with the brown. That's the centerpiece. So I usually leave a long enough tail because I use these tails at the end to attach it to my levy. So now you'll need your yellow, and you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, but only into the back loop, and that's how you're going to grab the yellow. So we work in the back loop and the front loop for the petals, and that is what creates like the layering effect of the petals. So you have, this is the next stitch right here. If I were to go into it normally, I would go into both loops, but I only want that back loop. So go into the back loop right there. Keep this snug so that it doesn't get too loopy. Grab your yellow or whatever color you're using for the petals and slip stitch into that. Now you're going to chain 7. And starting in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do 2 single crochets, not in the same one, it's not an increase, but so starting in this one, you're going to do single crochet into the next chain. Now we're going to do 1 half double crochet into the next chain. Now we're going to do 2 more single crochet in the next 2 chains. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Now I'm going to slip stitch into this last chain. You should have just 1 left. That creates 1 petal, so we need to kind of attach this to the center and get ready to start the next petal. So we'll slip stitch into the next back loop and do that same thing all over again. So that has made our one petal, and this little gap right there can be closed by pulling these tight, but I kind of just wait till I'm all the way done with all the petals to pull all that tight. So one more time, you'll chain 7, starting in the second chain from the hook, single crochet into the next chain, half double crochet into the next chain, single crochet in the next chain, one more single crochet. You should have one chain left, and in that one you do a slip stitch. Then you will slip stitch into the next back loop available on your flower's center. Now you have 2 petals. You just continue that all the way around until you come back to here. You should have a total of 12 at that point, so I'll go ahead and work that, and then I'll meet you back here to start the second layer of the petals. All right, I finished all 12. On your 12th petal, you will notice that there is not a back loop to connect it to on the center, because that's where the first petal is. So instead, you will, to attach it to the flower center, you will slip stitch into the next front loop. So you can see here, this is where we started the first petal, and the front loop is available. So we will slip stitch into, sorry, it got out of frame. We'll slip stitch into that front loop to attach the 12th petal to the flower center. Now we're just going to go ahead and continue the pattern we've already done, and create another layer of petals on the front loops. So we're already in the spot, chain 7 again, single crochet into that next chain, or I'm sorry, the second chain from the hook, start a single crochet, next chain, single crochet, next chain, half double crochet, next chain, single crochet, next chain, single crochet. You should have one left. Slip stitch into that one. Now to attach this, we'll go into the next front loop, which is right here. The back loop I worked into there, the front loop that I need to go into is right there. That's how we will connect it to the flower center. Oops, I split the yarn. We'll connect it to the flower center and start the next layered petal. So again, chain 7. In the second chain from the hook, single crochet, single crochet in the next chain, half double crochet in the next chain, single crochet in the next, single crochet in the next. You should have one left. Slip stitch into that one, slip stitch into the next front loop. So the next front loop available is that one. It does help to pull your first layer of petals out of the way, and then that front loop just kind of pops out at you. And then once again, you'll continue that pattern all the way around all of your exposed front loops until you have 12 petals that are on the front loop layer, so the layer closest to your body. I will meet you back when I get there to show you what that looks like. All right, I have finished the 12th petal of the front loop layer. I have not slip stitched it back to the flower center yet, because I'll show you we need to get this whole working yarn to the back of the flower. So you just fasten off, so chain 1, give yourself a decent tail, and pull your yarn through, pull it tight. Then you'll need a yarn needle, and you're just going to go in, kind of see where your petal wants to lay. I usually go in where my first petal was made, so you can see that little piece of yellow. Go through there. And that gets your last petal attached. Now, since we haven't dealt with the tails, I keep this one from the magic circle, and I keep this one for a little bit longer because I will use that to attach it to my lovey later. So you're left with these two yellow tails. I usually give them some good tugs to make sure they're nice and tight. Look at the front, make sure it looks even. And then you just tie a double knot with these two tails in the back of your flower, because this is going to be up against the lovey's head, so you won't be able to see these. And then you can trim them. And that is the daisy flower. Then I have made leaves before, to go 2 leaves to go on each side, so I'll show you how to do that. All right, to make the leaves, you're going to use green cotton yarn and the same 3.5 millimeter hook. Make a slip knot on your hook, chain 10, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, single crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next chain, half double crochet into the next chain, half double crochet into the next, oops, where do you come from? So you've done a slip stitch, single crochet, half double, half double. Now you're going to do double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So that's 3 double crochets, and in the last chain a half double. So first double, second double, third double. You should have 1 chain left, and you'll do a half double crochet in there just to kind of round off the bottom of the leaf. Cut your yarn, fasten off, and there's your leaf. I usually make 2, but you can make however many you wish. And I use hot glue to glue them to the base of the flower on the back. You could definitely sew it if you wanted to. I'm just impatient and hate sewing, so I use a little dab of fabric hot glue. That way it's machine washable and everything, so I use a little dab of hot glue to glue those. I usually tuck the tails under just to get them out of the way, and then these 2 brown tails from the flower center is what I use to secure and tie a double knot of this flower onto the lovey's head. And then I hide the tail ends inside the lovey's head. And that's your little daisy.